You
can refresh your screen.
Okay, so let's start. Welcome to this first TSC meeting of 2026. It is TSC number 67. Regarding the participant, I see from the voting participant that we have Team Orange and Telefonica. So we don't have, for the time being, the quorum for a vote if needed. And beside this, I see participants from Open Nebula and SUSE. The next TSC will be in 2 weeks, on the 28th of January. I don't think we have many general news for this meeting, and also from the governing board, I don't remember any specific information to be shared on the TSC. But please, Guillaume or Luis, if you have any, remind me. But I don't remember that we discussed specific topics to be shared.
We have, I don't know when will it be from Yaril. Yaril is not connected yet, but I think we are waiting for the new governing board member, co-chair.
Yes, the official naming. Yes.
No other point.
Okay. So I think we can move to the working group updates, starting from work group 1. So please, Mathieu.
Hello, everyone. So the good news is that we managed to tag the v1.6.0. So you have a release note available on the technical portal. And we even tagged the v1.6.1 recently for fixing some small issues we observed, along with also a v1.4.13 that we keep maintaining. So now we are starting to develop v1.7, which will be about integrating newest Kubernetes releases. And I think it's time to start discussing the v1.7 and v1.8 roadmap. I have something to propose. I don't know, Guillaume, if you have the slides. I don't have them.
I have the slides here. Exactly. I can
Maybe
share.
you shared it.
Yeah, I will share them. I was just pushing a last update on the TSC agenda, and now I can share the slides. Okay.
Thank you.
So here.
So v1.6, so we tagged it. It is behind us.
Yeah, but we adjust, we had some topics where we, in addition.
Yes, indeed. Sorry about that.
No.
We there is one feature that we had in v1.6. It's really about being able to use newest CSI plugin for managing and creating some Kubernetes volumes on top of NetApp appliances. So you can see that there is a new unit available for deploying and configuring the NetApp CSI plugin on a given workload cluster or or even on the management cluster, depending on what you want to do. But thanks to that, now we are compatible with NetApp appliances. It can be interesting for, especially for CAS on top of bare metal. We do have Longhorn today, but it can be limited, especially if you want to create large volumes. Well, you may want to use an external appliance, so NetApp is a solution, and we can consider alternatives, of course, from other vendors.
I don't know, Tim or Luis, if it's also a feature that we are waiting for.
Yeah, can you repeat which one? Because
External storage with NetApp.
Yes, yes, we will need to support different providers, and NetApp is one of them. So yes.
Okay.
Is this for specific appliances, storage appliances, or is it a general one?
So the NetApp CSI plugin is very generic. So you can use a large amount of NetApp appliances with the same CSI plugin.
Okay.
So something that we have to discuss, it's about v1.7. So in the past, we used to introduce only one Kubernetes version per Sylva release. But still, we are very, very late in adopting Kubernetes releases. So I'd like to propose in this Sylva 1.7 to include 2 Kubernetes releases instead of 1, in order to follow the pace of Kubernetes. Every corresponding artifact will be available, coming from RK2, KubeADM, and other providers. So technically speaking, it will be possible to include those 2 versions in Sylva 1.7, 1.34 and 1.35.
Mm-hmm.
Is everybody okay with this strategy for 1.7?
And also to come back on the process, Matthew. So here we're going to share a first view on this roadmap, and we will ask a validation of the TSC next week. And the good news is that today we have not the quorum, so we will not at least have this decision. But we have this in mind. Also, it gives you time to also give us other feedback, so you can have feedback during the call, but also after the call. Sorry, Matthew, forget to precise this process element.
Thank you, Guillaume. Luis,
Okay.
you have a question?
Yes, I have one comment. As part of in working group 2, as part of the flavor validation, we identified all the requirements that we have today and how to validate them. But while we were discussing, we identified some requirements that could be incorporated in Sylva. So this is a feedback that we will provide to you. Things like, I don't know, supporting service mesh, well, I think you have that because there, I saw Istio referenced there. But supporting the description of a cluster using a Git repository, things like that, that I'm not sure if are in the roadmap already or can be incorporated. So I will provide you the list and to consider. If they are deemed interesting, we can add them, and if not, we will defer them for the future.
And Luis, not only the list, for us, what is important is that for the v1.7, what are the 1 or 2 key, because we're not able to integrate all at once. But good. For you, if you can highlight
yes,
the 3 main topics that we need to integrate, it will be very valuable for us.
Interesting. And one other thing, same as we are generating the roadmap should be a feedback moving forward to this new working group, where we can identify how to validate each one of these requirements. So we are adding these requirements to the roadmap. This will be part of Sylva, but then we have demonstrated that it is part of Sylva. It has been incorporated. So this demonstration can be used for any flavor in Sylva. So we should work on that direction as well. We provide feedback and you provide us somehow a mechanism or a way or identify how can we demonstrate that this is actually incorporated once the release is issued.
Yeah.
Tim,
Can I ask a question on this as well, please?
Yes, Tim.
yes.
Mathieu, if you can go, or I'm not sure if who's showing the slide. Can we go back to the previous slide, please? The one with the 1.7 release, please.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, Mathieu, a question to you is the fact that you have two Kubernetes releases in 1.7 going to mean that we will duplicate all the CI pipelines and run all the testing for both releases in parallel?
Can be an option. Well, what we usually do is testing the latest Kubernetes releases. In that, we didn't think about it. I think we will have to duplicate indeed.
Not sure if I,
Mark, you have an opinion about it?
So the way, but maybe it's worth clarifying the question. The way here, I don't know, does that mean that the management cluster Mathieu is running 1.35 or it means that it can run both? It's a good question. We need to.
Yeah, I think the plan would be to move the management cluster to 1.35.
Yeah, this is the way.
And support in Sylva 1.7 3 versions of Kubernetes: 1.33, 1.34, and 1.35, to have an overlap with what we currently support in 1.6.
Yeah, this was the way I was seeing it as well.
Okay, thank you. Understood.
Okay. Okay, so we'll let you time to think about that. But so again, we are very late in adopting Kubernetes releases, so we have an opportunity here to fill the gap. What we are also going to consider is a potential switch to immutable OSes. We are currently testing libmicro in our CI pipelines. So we'd like to consider make it the default. I mean, libmicro coming from SUSE, but other alternatives as immutable OSes, in order to make immutable OSes as a first-class citizen in the Sylva ecosystem, because of the reliability and security enhancements it provides. So it can be alternatives. We do have Ubuntu Core as an alternative, Red Hat as other alternatives. But still, moving to immutable OSes as default is a good path for the Sylva ecosystem, I think. So we will consider it for 1.7, depending on test results. We can potentially make it the default. Okay. Concerning network services for 1.7, we will keep investigating how to implement egress gateway with SNAT based on Cilium. For Calico, we are still stuck with what Calico open source versions is providing. So there is no option to consider Calico here, but Cilium we can still consider it.
Just to reinforce your message, because we already discussed this point with Carlos, so we have this update on this evolution. So
okay.
No side effect on your part.
I Not completely sure, but we will check internally.
So once again, this is why we are sharing this
Mm-hmm.
today as a base of discussion, and we can integrate your feedback.
Yeah, we will probably also keep working on KubeVirt in order to consider evolutions, especially on the way we manage the networking part for attaching virtual machines, but especially how to deal with additional interfaces for some virtual machines that need such additional interfaces. Then I think I will let the floor to the work group 7, I think, Morgan. For you to...
So I propose to Morgan, effectively, this is a topic we have in mind, but so Morgan, I don't know if you have any ideas for today, but it's to start to prepare some reference implementation with a tooling zone where we can share to other partners.
Yes, I think the TSC already endorsed a little bit the tooling zone more than 2 years ago when we open source it, but for the moment it's exposed in repository in gitlab.com that are a bit separate from the rest of the Sylva code. So shall we just reorganize a little bit in order to push this reference implementation as a possible Sylva workload cluster to do GitOps as a reference implementation? So that's the question that we are discussing. It's more a way to present things, I think. So we plan to discuss next week on that, maybe directly Guillaume, and see what we have a working group meeting this week. That's also a question I can raise at the end. We will have probably 5 or 10 minutes, but to discuss with the other working group user. Most of the working groups, they have their own implementation, but there is no reference implementation for the newcomer. Having such a GitOps enabler could be interesting. So making it more visible in the roadmap of Sylva and more part of Sylva could be interesting. So that's a discussion we need to have. I do not have technical objections. As I say, it's already published today. We have tagging. We have several versions a day most of the time because we include lots of upstream patches. But it has to be aligned with the Sylva delivery and all the cycle you do. So that's part of the discussion. How we advertise this, assuming that it's just a set of additional components that we put on top of a Sylva cluster. So it's just some kind of add-on. It's not big compared to all the work done by the working group 1. It's just kind of add-on for GitOps. But yeah, it has to be discussed how we manage that. So I have no objection to onboard it as part of the delivery and official publication, as it's already there, but we need just to be clean and as clean as possible and following the same rules than the other working group.
Okay. The other topic, Sylva has reference implementation to ORAN, OCloud, O2 interfaces. I see that Nicolas also join us because I know that Open RAN use case is important also for Vodafone. So here is the way we want to really to push CAPI approach on IMS interfaces in Open RAN ecosystem. So we have started this activity with the work group 4 from the ORAN Alliance on the infrastructure layer, but we want to continue and to have a validation of what we are doing. It's very interesting not only to declare the cloud infrastructure with Kubernetes cluster, but also if we need a specific accelerator or a cluster class for Open RAN use cases.
And for Open RAN, the support for PTP, the driver for the PTP synchro interface, is part of this? Or
PTP is another requirement. So we are we already supported PTP client today. So if we want to go deeper on PTP support on different experimentation, we supported PTP using a client on the Sylva workload cluster, and the PTP master was the switch. We can have different architecture, but we need to prioritize in your POC or in deployment what is really useful.
Okay, but the support for PTP is already in a previous release, because when we reviewed the requirements, we identified that this was not still available. It's already in version 1.5 or 6.
You can easily install a PTP client. I don't remember, Matthew, if we have a Sylva unit for this. I know that we worked with Aurélien, but at least we use in a regular manner just to deploy a PTP client. So it's just a quick installation. So we are supporting that kind of configuration.
Okay, good, because I didn't. Can you go back to the previous slide? Is in one of the requirements in the, or maybe it's not listed?
So I'd like to make a comment here.
Yeah.
When it comes to PTP, the devil is a little bit in the details, because, as you say, Guillaume,
yeah,
there are different ways to implement PTP, and it depends a little bit on what the hardware that's available in the system is. Like if you have your own GNSS receiver in the system, or if you're getting a remote timing signal from a remote grandmaster clock. I think there are about 6 or 7 different scenarios the O-RAN Alliance has identified, if I remember correctly. And each of them, or at least some of them, require slightly different combination of software components. So it's not evident if you can support one of them that you can support all of them. So we probably should take a slightly closer look at this and become a little bit more specific in terms of which scenarios we support and which we don't support, because we may not be able to support everything at once.
Okay, so far in the validation, flavor validation, we don't have support PTP as a requirement. We have not identified how to validate it, because we thought it was not completely support. So let's discuss that in another meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, and just a mention of again, external storage. We do support currently Ceph CSI, but it is considered as an experimental feature because we don't have it in CI. So we may improve that situation in order to fully support it.
And do we have a Sylva unit currently, or is it?
We do have the Sylva unit, but it is not enabled by default, and well, we don't have any test cases for it. So.
Okay.
One quick comment. The role-based access control that we have one specific working group for that, no, the RVAC. I think we should have it in the roadmap, the RVAC, or are we still waiting for the working group to complete any activity?
Which one? RVIC?
RVAC, role-based control. Access control.
Ah, okay.
Role-based access control.
Okay, airbag.
Airbag, yes, this one. Yeah, I think this is an important one, no? Because we have had a specific working group on that.
No, it's important on this, and I do not know, Matthew, the status.
Me neither. Not even sure to have here about a specific working group. So
no, in working group security, they're mentioning that airbag is important, but
I was under the impression that they have already completed the activity on the pilot that they did, or the analysis that they did, that they defined some requirements. So probably it could be added to the roadmap, but okay, let's discuss it as well.
No, but François Régis is here. So François Régis, following the analysis, the UCS analysis, do we need extra features about airbag?
Yes, probably, yes. I don't have the full picture, but I'm not sure it's 100 completed.
So you have to be defined what can be the
could be exploration, if not continue exploration on that.
Yeah, but at least for next TSC to identify what we can do here, what is the scope of the requirements.
Yeah, but there is some ongoing discussion regarding this topic, but we have a first version, I think, available, but we can improve the process and the roles defined for workload cluster, for example.
So first process has been validated. Can you share the info to Luis?
Yeah.
And Luis, come back if you have additional requirements on this, or expectation or clarification.
Okay.
I put to be discussed. We can come back on this on the next TSC.
Yeah, basically, my comment is if the requirements were clear and the pilot that was done and that the working group security is successful, we could consider it to be added in the roadmap. If not in 1.7, maybe later in 1.8. I don't know.
This is the reason why of these requirements. It's at the end of the day to be implemented. Correct. Matthew, okay for you?
Yes, sure. I'm always open to suggestion coming from other working group, of course. Same for the working group dedicated to networking. We are still interested in what is happening there, and especially about host-based routing. So we may see some evolutions in the roadmap talking about that. And now if we switch to 1.8, if we don't see any other topic for 1.7, we can discuss briefly about 1.8. What I'd like to improve in 1.8 is the observability stack with a potential switch to OpenTelemetry. So hopefully some work will be done about it in Sylva. We can also, of course, keep considering adding the support of additional external storage solutions. In the past we discussed the support of hyperscalers with the corresponding cluster API providers. Still a topic we can keep discussing. We see some solutions that are ready for production. Do we want to do it in Sylva or not? It's up to discussions. And one additional feature that we are very interested in, well, we are interested in multiple features, but one that has been bootstrapped into the Metal Cube community is about being able to securely manage the bare metal host and being able to share bare metal resources among multiple clusters. Some evolutions of Metal Cube are happening currently under development. So as soon as it is available, it is called host claim. As soon as it is available, we will consider adopting it into Sylva for improving the bare metal story. Okay. And same for bare metal. We are still very interested in being able to share bare metal resources with multiple clusters that can be deployed on top of bare metal clusters with solutions with, well, we would call it then nested cluster with potentially KubeVirt or alternative. This is also an area of improvement for for minimizing the footprint of bare metal workload clusters. Okay.
Okay. A lot of things. Guillaume, please.
Yeah, just a comment. We started to talk with Carlos. So, as I understood, Telecom Italia is interested to contribute probably to explore to nested cluster with KubeVirt.
Yes,
correct?
we are working on it, and we will share hopefully very soon some result of the work we are doing. So it's okay to follow it, trying to explore, to have it as an exploring item for the version 1.8.
If it's very soon, we can put this also in v1.7, as you prefer.
Well, let's discuss and see.
Okay. And my question is there other member around the table to push or to want to contribute on specific topic? Additional or existing one? No? My last question is about hybrid cloud. Matthew mentioned we are using it already in Orange. We are evaluating if it's valuable to open source it or not. So for us, if you have some use cases where you want to progress on this topic, ping us. It will influence Matthew and I if we want to open source it or not.
Okay, one thing regarding this point is how can we test it in the community? So if we don't have access to cloud provider resources,
we can open source the integration of
using crossplane, for instance.
Yeah, but using Cluster API, we are using we're relying on Cluster API. We are able to today we are able to use Cluster API of the Sylva Cluster Manager to manage the lifecycle management of Azure AKS or Amazon EKS. So this has already been managed. We can open source the code, and of course,
okay.
We need to pay for the usage of this public cloud provider, but we are not so. We do not want to put too much highlight on this because Sylva is very well known as a sovereign cloud, private cloud, so it can mismatch a little bit this clear positioning. But if you need to use it as we are already using in Orange, please ping us if we open source this.
Okay, thanks. Okay, any other question on the roadmap? If not, Guillaume, can you include or send me the this draft roadmap? We can add to the minutes, and so in the next meeting in 2 weeks we will be able to vote hopefully and to agree on the new version of the roadmap.
Exactly.
Okay, I think we can quickly move to work group 2. Luis?
Okay, yes. In work group 2, we had some progress in the last weeks. In the flavor validation part, we already reviewed all the requirements, the existing requirements. We identify how to test them, validate them, and we even have identified scripts or created some scripts that will allow testing most of those Sylva requirements. So that's a progress there. Another progress lately is that we have a new validation platform, the one with OpenNebula. So we have now a Sylva configuration where we can have OpenNebula as the virtualization part, either over bare metal or Kubernetes or RKE. And in order to do this, of course, we validated the 6-wind from Sylva, the 6-wind VSL that we use because it's just one health chart and it's easy to validate, very cloud native. So we have a 20-second validated validation completed already, which is another progress. We have been working on defining a way to automate using a GitLab pipeline, the CNTI test suites, and this will be helping validations moving forward. This is something that where we are investigating to do it even more and incorporate more elements, but we have a first step of some automation of the validation cycle. This is going to be presented tomorrow in the validation team weekly meeting, and we will also show it in the Sylva Dev Day next time. And the active validations that we have, the Juniper one that we are working on, we are redeploying it because we have one issue and we are redeploying it in the TEF4, one of the validation platforms that we have. So we expect to have this completed in the next 2 weeks. Aura 1, the platform Aura 1 is in another migration process of the networking. So the validations there have been stopped so far, and they will be reconvened in February. So we have stopped that part. And we have a new interest, a new workload that will be added. Well, we will have to pass the process, but it will be added to the validation, which is the Titanium number portability system. We already validated another Titanium workload, and we plan to validate this in different platforms. So using the 2 new ones, the White Stack, the OpenNebula, and also one in Telefonica. So we plan to have 3 cycles in parallel, let's say, for this workload to demonstrate actually what we want, that the workloads can work in different configurations. This is the main aim. So we have had some progress these last weeks. And what we want to do, we want to complete the existing validations. We want to validate, as I just commented, the Titanium in 3 different platforms, so having 3 new validations completed. And we want to start the first validation of flavors using either Canonical or Red Hat. Now that they have the complete support of CAPI, we want to have them, one of them at least, to start running all the scripts that we have identified in the flavor validation group. So this is all that we have done lately.
Thank you, Luis. Any question for workgroup 2? If not, we can move to workgroup 3. I don't see any update here, but I don't know, Francois Regis, if there is anything to be shared.
Yes, there is one item regarding the CVE process.
Oh, okay.
But I will have having Matthew to discuss this topic because it concerns workgroup 1. I presented yesterday, but he was not here, so I need his validation, I think. So maybe postpone the presentation. I don't know, Guillaume.
Yeah. So yeah, we can. I'm not sure we have time also for today, so we can postpone the decision for next TSC.
Yes. Okay. We can move this to the next TSC. Guillaume, please.
Yeah. Additional topic managed by François Regis and we activated the MFA authentication process in GitLab. So some of you perhaps notified this point. I hope so. So now you need to have a more secure access to Sylva GitLab.
The two-factor authentication.
Yeah, authentication.
Yes. I activated it today.
Okay, great.
Okay, regarding workgroup 4, Wamin cannot be here, but he updated just on the activity done about the release of the Green Dashboard 1.0.2. And regarding the planning for this year, the items regards GPU monitoring, the forecast for CO2 consumption, and the optimization of CO2 consumption using the autoscaler basing on energy measurement. If there are no comments on this, I will move to workgroup 5.
Yep.
Julie, are you here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, perfect. So I wanted to bring two topics to you guys. The first one is that we are currently preparing a white paper with Sylva for the Mobile World Congress. Because as you know, Sylva has been partnering with Supermicro and other stakeholders to develop a Sylva demo for Mobile World Congress. And the idea is to promote what we have done basically, and to do communication and give people, bring attention to the demo and bring attention to this new system and how we help customers in terms of efficiency, power, thanks to it. So all the elements will be sent to us, and we are trying to create a super communication on the topic. Second topic is a Sylva Dev Day. As you may, I don't know if you know it, but the date is Friday after the KubeCon in Amsterdam, so on the 27th of March. We are still searching for a location. We contacted Sylva. I think Guillaume sent you an email about that to host the event. We need to be really efficient about it, especially we want to be as cost efficient as possible. So any help is welcome because it's in Amsterdam and I can't visit the locations before the event. So if you have any recommendation, it would really help us. So please reach out to us if you have a location in mind that could be perfect for the Sylva Dev Day. And that's all for me.
Okay. Thank you, Julie. Any question or comment for workgroup 5?
On my side, just an additional topic. We have 3 CFP that has been validated for Cloud Native Telco Day. We will have there also a keynote where we will be able to introduce Sylva and a booth during the Cloud Native Telco Day. So huge opportunity to communicate largely to our ecosystem.
Very good. Okay, let's move to workgroup 6. Morgan.
Yes, I just mentioned that minutes from December session have been published. So we're happy to welcome new people in this working group, people from Telstra, so the Australian operator. So the next session is tomorrow at 1 p.m. UTC, and we will be also happy to welcome new contributor because White Stack, who is already an actor of the working group 2, and they have their own lab now, will make a short introduction of their activity. And the session is dedicated to CNF packaging. So 2 topics at the agenda, one for the repackaging using a Sylva unit of an existing CNF, so the example done by White Stack with 6Win. And the second topic would be a sharing from Orange on the supply chain. Last year, we already worked on the software delivery model, and then we go one step further by explaining what we would like to see in the future in order to be able to have to rationalize the way we manage the OCI artifact during the GitOps process. So people are welcome, especially people from the vendor, because we'll speak about the vendor OCI artifact. So they should not hesitate to join. And that's for the working group 6. The topic for February are not decided yet. We will probably take some minutes to discuss what we said during the introduction about the reference implementation, what people believe, especially, I think, for people who start maybe this journey in this area. So if they would like to see something more specifically stamped with the Sylva versioning, so I will ask, and yeah, feel free to join.
Okay, thank you, Morgan. Any comment or question? Okay, I don't think that we have any updates from Workgroup 7. That I think we'll have the meeting in the last week of January, I think. So maybe during the next TSC we will have an update. Any other topic to be discussed? If not, I think we can close. We were late, but now we finish in advance. And so
just a comment on Workgroup 7, Matthew.
Yes.
As I see that they have to decide on CNI. So what we discussed today, we need definitely also to have a common alignment with Workgroup 7 on CM.
Okay.
Matthew is not here, but I will manage this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for your participation, and we will meet again in 2 weeks on the 28th of January.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Bye-bye.
day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Many thanks, Carlo.